There she go. All right. So, y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all locked in with Seven the Pantha Politics podcast. I am your host, Seven the Pantha, also known as the Carolina Hurricane, ridiculous slang, your baby mama's favorite rapper, and a whole bunch of other shit you probably shouldn't call me to my face. And today, I got my man. I happen to join this hip hop group on Facebook, and they are so dope. And there's a lot of dope things going on in there. And I'm glad to get one of the founders of the group in here. My man Brad Bailey. How you living, fam?
What's going on, man? Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to come on the show.
Oh, no doubt, man. I mean, y'all do a lot of dope hip hop shit, and I love hip hop culture. So this is thank you for being on, most definitely. So tell the people a little bit about you, since I'm pretty sure most of the people listening don't know who you are. Tell them about where you're from and kind of how we even got to the point of you being on the spot.
I'm from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, like Family Guy type shit.
No
like
doubt.
Pawtucket Brewery. Yeah. So I sound like a cartoon character. Everybody tells me I sound just like from Family Guy shit. But I actually kind of fell into the media promoting manager side of the dealing with artists and that sort of thing a couple years ago. Shout out to Anthony Italian from Hip Hop Lifers.
Yes, indeed.
I actually co-founded Hip Hop Lifers with him, and we started out just as a Facebook group, and then we kind of got into doing our own merch, and then we got into promoting shows out in Boston, and then I kind of spiraled off and went into doing my own thing with the Culture Corner, and obviously the Hip Hop Lifers podcast, as you can see behind me. So that's been going real good. We're coming up on our 1 year anniversary with that in April. So that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a big deal. But I mean, as far as falling into the culture and all that, I was born in 1980. So I grew up with hip hop, and we've always heard it throughout our lives. My older brother, I'm the youngest of 10 kids. But the next one in line to me, my brother, he introduced me to NWA when I was about 9 years old. And that changed everything. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And then I moved to Florida in 1993, and then Wu-Tang came out. And then that changed it. So I kind of I moved around the country, got a feel for different cultures, different vibes of different places, different regions. And now I'm trying just to share what I can with other artists and give people a platform. That's my thing. I want to give artists, local artists, and artists from all over the country, all over the world, a platform where they can go be themselves without restrictions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's important. That's very important, because a lot of times we get, as an artist myself, I can speak to it. We end up in a lot of situations where we kind of have to do things outside of our regular thing, just to appease whatever the platform is that we're on. So having a platform such as your own, and this one, of course, and a few others that'll bring artists on and allow them to be themselves is important. Because, bro, hip hop is so broad. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I noticed that we talked, that they talked about a lot in the group too. Hip hop is really broad. Now, a lot of the artists that we talk about in there some of them fall in a similar lane. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them are a little more wide to the spectrum. Like, do you have like a particular sound in hip hop that's your favorite, or is it kind of like just whatever catches your ear?
Well, the thing closest to my heart is East Coast boom bap. New York, Boston, Rhode Island, anything that Philly, anything in that area, that East Coast hard hitting snare boom, that's close to my heart. But as I get older, because I'm an old man now, so as I get older, I've been listening to a lot more dad rap. You know what I mean? A lot more like atmosphere, Aesop rap. Like get more into that sort of lane. You know what I mean? So something that makes you think a little bit more.
I feel it, absolutely, and I feel you, because all of us, as we have grown up in hip hop, your taste starts to change a little the older you get. But every now and then I like to get back in that bag, and I'll turn on my, you know what I'm saying? I'll hop back in that bag and throw on some Griselda so I can feel like I'm back in New York doing my thing again. You know what I'm saying? That I miss that sometimes, man. So now I know you work on the other side. I'm used to being behind the mic, this podcast shit. This is going to be episode 82, so it's still fairly new to me. But being a rapper behind the microphone, performing for people is how I see the game. You know what I'm saying? But you get to see it from the other side. So like, what is something that you would say to like young artists that are coming in the game trying to get their feet wet? What would be the first thing you would tell them?
be smart about who you are, because a lot of people will try to twist that. And being young, you're impressionable. So as your peers, if you're going to venture out musically, some of your peers are going to be stuck in a certain lane, and they're going to be like looking at you a little funny, and you're going to want to stay in that lane and be with your peers, especially especially as a young man. Anyone that's 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, all you're looking for is acceptance. So just be true to who you are, and if you want to venture out and do your own thing and step away from hip hop, even do it. Take a risk, because you really don't have much time on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So I wasted a lot of time doing just my day-to-day job, and I could have been probably something light years ahead of where I am now if I would have jumped into this 10 years ago, 20 years
I feel that. I feel that for sure, for sure. And I think that's something that a lot of us, especially people who are past the, I'll say 35 mark in hip hop, that's something that we all kind of feel like, dang, the understanding that I have of the game now, had I had it sooner, you know what I'm saying, it would have been a whole different ball game. So I mean, that's some beautiful advice though, because if you don't know who you are, it's easy to be manipulated, and then all of a sudden your dream becomes somebody else's reality. You know what I'm saying? And they turn it into whatever they want. You know what I mean? That's dangerous living right there. So, like, who are some of the artists you work with that the listeners might know?
Right now, I work closely with the past couple of years with Speak the Rebel. Everybody on the East Coast up here, I know Speak the Rebel. Buy his album. Go out there and buy his album. But I've worked with Weapon ESP, Ghost to the Machine. It's more of the promoting on the end that I've worked with the artists. Management-wise, I've been trying to just keep it to one person, because I don't want to get bogged down. And I got my hands in everything. Like with the Culture Corner, and especially with the Culture Corner YouTube channel. This year, we're launching another podcast in April, on April 17th. And we have a bunch of different series going on. The Blind Reviewer with Kevin Crisis Cooper. He speaks doing a vlog of his journey throughout another genre of music, because he's more of he started out in punk and reggae bands and that, so then transitioned into hip hop as like a 24, 25-year-old man. But now he's going back to his roots, playing the guitar, singing songs, so he's going to be doing a vlog series for us on that. And I'm kind of working with him on that end also, we're going to do open mics to start, get out there, show the people, do different areas, try to stay away from the Boston scene, branch out into different spots. But it's going to be good. We got 2023 packed up right now. We got a lot of good plans in the works, and hopefully people fuck with us. That's all. I just want people to see the artists that we're putting forward as our local scene, our international scene, and I just want to be able to help any way I can.
Thanks. I feel that. Now, just so you know, since I fuck with you, and since I fuck with what I see y'all doing in Hip Hop Lifers and Culture Corner, you are a manager. You do deal with hip hop artists. If you have any artists that need an interview, let me know. I got you covered. Say less. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely will.
I mean, we ain't Joe Budden podcast or nothing like that, but what I'm saying, every bit of ears help, and the pod is steadily growing, so that's a good thing. And I just want to be able to help other artists get the kind of light I wish I could have got earlier in my career. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly. We all have a platform that we could use, and if we all band together, Bad Seed actually has a really good thought on the idea, almost like a union, like a hip hop union, an underground union, he's like the underground ambassador. So, I mean, if anybody could pull something like that off, I think Bad Seed could pull that off.
Yes, indeed. And that's my guy. I got to get him on here. So we talked about it. We're going to do it soon. He's dropping so much music. Like, it ain't even like I got to wait for a particular project to drop. Something else is going to be coming right around the corner. So it's all good. Oh, man.
Yeah,
now, do you handle the touring part too, or you just handle the day-to-day and somebody else kind of handles the road management type stuff?
Actually, I'm more of the day-to-day guy. There's been no plans of touring at this point at all, because everybody's kind of life, COVID hit, everybody's life kind of got put on hold for a couple years. And so now everyone's picking back up from where they started. So there's really no plans of touring, but I am hoping again to do a few shows this year in the Boston, Providence area. So definitely planning on something for the summer. So,
No doubt. Have y'all thought about coming out to the West Coast at all? Now the reason I'm asking is because I was a little concerned when I first moved out here that people wouldn't be able to relate to my sound, because I'm an unabashed East Coast artist. No questions asked about it.
right.
I don't do nothing else. That's what I do. So, I've started experimenting with some different sounds since I moved out here, but my base is East Coast boom bap. And I was afraid at first that people over here wouldn't relate to me. But surprisingly, there's a wide open lane for East Coast boom bap music here, as long as it's dope. You know what I'm saying? So, I know you said no plans of touring exactly, but if there's an opportunity to get out here to the West Side, is that something that y'all looking at, or is it just kind of like you're trying to keep it local for the moment?
If the opportunity arose and it was worth it, for sure, we'd be out there in a heartbeat. You never want to pass up an opportunity, ever. That's another thing for young artists. Don't pass up an opportunity, because everything can be an opportunity. This podcast is an opportunity, so you never pass anything up.
Sure, indeed. I feel that. Now, so what's that like? I hate to ask people the favorite question, but who's your favorite hip hop artist?
My favorite MC, I can say without a doubt, Apathy. I've been fucking with him for almost 20 years.
Good. I had a chance to work.
We just saw him. We just saw him recently. It was a good
Word?
show. Yeah, he was up in New Hampshire. Yeah. So.
I heard him do some shit on the track where he was rapping backwards. Shit, that was crazy. I was like, yo, how you do that? That dude's amazing.
He's super versatile. He's super versatile. That's why I like him. He can come at you with those battle raps. If he can write a song, he can tell a story. He can do a whole entire concept album, and then his next album will just be coming at you with bars. So that's why I dig versatility, because I'm not just a hip hop fan. I listen to a lot of different things. So it's music has to be versatile to keep your attention, especially nowadays, the way attention spans are 30 seconds. If it's not hitting you, it's over.
No doubt. So what was the motivation behind starting Culture Point?
To give artists a platform, a public space that's uncensored, and you can post whatever you want. The only time we'll ever ban someone is if it's straight up spam. Like those Simon Cowell news snippets everybody's getting nowadays, that's spam. So that's going to get banned. But anyone else, feel free to shameless self-promote, do what you got to do. It's an open platform for everyone. And I just want people to come together and see a different side of life that they wouldn't normally see.
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. Now, as a manager, if you were to take on a new artist, what is it that you look for in an artist to say, hey, that looks like somebody that I should probably work with, assist in some way, shape, or fashion?
First thing is music. The music has to be right. It can't just be anything. It has to be something that I would listen to without either knowing the person or wanting to work with the person. It would have to be something that I would dig. And then, not to lie, but social media presence. That's the big one. You have to have a number of followers. You have to have likes, and you have to nowadays. You have to be in that lane. And then probably how good the person is as a person. Because you don't want to work with some scumbag that's going to rob you or, play games or be late. You need reliability. You need creativity. There's a lot of things that go into it. So that's why I just don't jump into managing anyone, because if I did, what's the point?
I appreciate that answer, because your first answer to that question wasn't regarding how many records they can sell. I actually asked another person that, and his answers to every question was so corporate. I didn't even put the interview out. I was like, bro, I don't want anybody to hear this. This is crazy. Like, you can't talk to independent artists in this language that you're using, because we don't move that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't move like that. So That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad you got that understanding, man, because it's a lot of people who are trying to do the things that you do who don't have a firm understanding of what hip hop culture in and of itself is, and therefore their representation is always skewed. So, what made you? Oh no, you kind of already answered that. So I know that you got introduced to hip hop, you got introduced to NWA, you moved to Florida, you heard Wu-Tang Clan. But as a 40-year-old man who's still representing the culture, what have you heard recently that keeps you tuned in? Because people talk bad about new artists all the time, you know what I'm saying? But I've heard a lot of artists that have come out in the last 2 or 3 years that really make me say hip hop's in good hands going forward. It's all good. So I mean, like, are there any like new guys that you're checking for?
Not new, but Rome Streets, everybody like RJ Payne. They're like the torchbearers, I think. Those two. They're carrying it. I'm not a huge Griselda fan, and I kind of kept shit far from all the homies. But it's just all the ad libs and just the overdone. It's too much for me. It's just not something that I like to listen to. But no one new is on my radar whatsoever. I mean, as local guys that are like people that I actually know, Ghost of the Machine is probably my favorite local, like Boston, New England rapper right now. I can't even call him a rapper. He's an MC. He's a musician. He does it all. But if you don't know Ghost, go check out Ghost of the Machine. Get Genosha Records, Weapon ESP, Speak the Rebel. I'm gonna miss 100 people too because when there's so many people to try to name off. But
Yeah.
everybody in the local scene, they're all dope. They really are. They all work hard. They're all like most of the family men. So they're doing their day job thing, and then they're
Okay.
leaving their day job, going home to the kids, and then they're going to do shows and starting their day jobs back over again. So um, yeah.
I feel that. Okay, so let me ask you this: as far as the evolution of hip hop is forever evolving, and it's a lot. Like you said, there are newer artists who embody that in your area. So, how much do you? How, it's a two-part question. How much do you put into having that hometown base first before you expand, and also, do you feel like people bypassing that part of it and relying on social media has made artists lazy to it?
I think relying on social media didn't make it lazy. I think it made it easier because you can reach across the world in a second. We couldn't do that when we were kids. We didn't have. There was none of those opportunities to do that. To go back to you, what was the first part of the question?
Oh, okay. I was asking about artists who. So when we were younger, when I was first coming up in hip hop, it was a massive thing for us to have our hometown behind us first, and then kind of spread out from there. Because we know if we spread out and the love ain't there, we can always come back to the love we got at home. But now, a lot of artists don't care about even being accepted in their local area. They just kind of they think that because the internet is the tool that you were just saying it is, and it is, but they have no established foundation whatsoever. They just throwing shit at the wind to see if something sticks. So, I mean, how important do you feel that hometown base is before you kind of go running across the country?
I think it's hugely important. It's the foundation of who you are. Everybody comes from a certain region, and you represent that region. Not only just you carry it. Like I'm a Pawtucket kid. I'm a Pawtucket, Rhode Island kid. I'll always, no matter where I go, I'll always be a Pawtucket, Rhode Island kid. People like from Providence do the same thing. Boston, New York, everybody carries that. Like, if you're from Brooklyn, you're from Brooklyn no matter where you go. So coming up as an artist, especially a hip hop artist, you need that base because that's the foundation of everything. Because what happens if it all crumbles? And you're going back to Brooklyn or you're going back to Providence and you're trying to play local shows and you got 3 people coming out to see you because you didn't build that fan base in the first place. You really, really need to, young artists, build your fan base locally. Do that.
Man, yes, that was that's a beautiful, and I try to impart that to younger artists when I talk to them. Hey, bro, listen, I understand you want to go to Cali and rock. I know you want to go to LA. I know you want to go down to Portland. I know you want to do all those things. But first, get Seattle behind you. Get Tacoma behind you. You know what I'm saying? If you're up here in Washington, get Washington behind you before you start running around the country trying to impress everybody.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man, that's
This is a
beautiful, man.
marathon. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. This
Absolutely.
whole game, no matter what side you're on, is a marathon.
Please
So
believe.
if you're gonna come out the gates running fast, you're gonna fall behind everybody else, which is the way the world works today too.
Oh man, hell yeah, that's real shit. So, as far as now, Culture Corner is expanding out into other things. Hip Hop Lifers is that also more than just that group, or is it kind of are they two? I guess are they two of the same thing in a manner of speaking, or is one basically built for the internet type situation, and the other one is kind of stretching out to do other shit?
When I was heavy into hip hop lifers, we were stretching out into like promoting shows. We did I think we did six last year and throughout Massachusetts. And we ended up starting their YouTube channel. And but Culture Corner is a different thing. Hip Hop Lifers is more based on just that Facebook group, and
Okay,
that's why it's a private group, which I totally understand being a private group. But Culture Corner, I want to reach beyond hip hop. I want people from all type of genres of music to come together. Who knows who's gonna meet each other and then kick it off musically and make a new album, go on tour together, start a festival. It's like I want it, and like not even just about music, but share your movies, share your hobbies, share. A lot of people into video games, a lot of people into like role playing type shit. Share
no doubt.
everything, you know.
Hey,
Join each other. Join each other.
that's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Well, listen, how if there's an artist listening, or even a hip hop artist listening, or just a person who's a practitioner of the culture in other ways, if they want to check y'all out online, how can they find you the easiest?
You can find us on Facebook at the Culture Corner. Go sub to the YouTube channel, Culture Corner. Yeah, we're on Instagram, Culture Corner One, because somebody took Culture Corner for some reason. And we're
Haters.
on every social media platform under the Culture Corner. You can find us at.
Word is
Hey,
bond.
Jeff,
Brad,
I got a team of people behind me. It's not just me. So
no
I got
doubt.
to give some shout outs there. I got to give shout out to Jesse Elliott. He's like my
Yes.
scout slash co-partner for the Hip Hop Happy Hour podcast. He's the one that finds all these dope guests and gets everybody booked up. Anthony Gonzalez, he's tech support. He runs the podcast. He's the producer slash director. He does some amazing AI artwork. He's the one who's done all the logos. So y'all got to give him a shout. Bex Davis, shout out to her. Adrian Madeira, shout out to him. Kevin Crisis Cooper, the blind reviewer. Check out his YouTube series on the Culture Corner. The dude, he can listen to an album like no one else can and break it down for you almost in real time. And it's a
Shit. I'm
beautiful
about to
thing.
send him my album. Shit. I'm about to send him my
Well,
album.
do it up. Do it up. We'll get an episode done.
No doubt. Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much for your time, bro. And I think because you literally have said some things on this podcast today that nobody's ever said, because most of the people I talk to are artists. And despite how much
Yeah.
we handle our own business, we don't really know how the other side of it looks. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But what I will say is this: I'd like to invite you and the rest of your crew back soon so we can have maybe like a roundtable discussion about local scenes, building the scene, you know, say building your own movement, because y'all, that's exactly what y'all are doing, building your own movement. So if there's other people who are going to want to do the same thing, and I would love for them to hear from all of y'all, just kind of how each piece of it comes together. So if y'all down for that, we can definitely put it on the calendar.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely be on that for sure, for sure. And
That's what's
we're
up.
going to get you on the Hip Hop Happy Hour podcast soon. We got
All
that
right,
coming up.
bro.
I got you scheduled in. And then everybody check out the Culture Cast. It starts April 17th. A
Yes.
new podcast brought to you by the Culture Corner. So I hope everybody tunes in for that. Again, sub to the YouTube, because we can't keep doing this if nobody's watching. So
Thanks. Thanks.
sub
Well,
up.
I'm already subscribed, and I'm gonna make sure I spread the word. Most definitely. Most
Thank
definitely.
you, sir. Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you so much, bro. And I will talk to you soon. Hey, y'all already know what it is. Today is the 10th that you're hearing this. If it's the 10th when you're hearing this, I need you to hop up on the 10th or the 11th, whichever day it is. Subscribe to the Culture Corner. Follow them on Facebook. Let's get this thing moving, man. It's all for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Yo, thanks again, Brad. I'll talk to you soon, brother. Most definitely. Y'all
Thank
know
you,
what it
sir.
is.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Hey, no doubt,
Peace.
family. Peace.